Hello, everyone, and welcome to Board Game Backwards, where we play board games having never read the rules. I'm Shay.
And I'm Brian.
Yes, that's right. We have Brian in here today instead of Cole. Unfortunately for us, Cole is pretty busy lately because he is about to have a baby. And so his schedule has become a little full. So he will definitely join us on future episodes. But for the time being, he's a little busy. But
congratulations, Cole.
Yeah, congrats, Cole. Glad to have Brian on board here. Brian, actually, we go to the same church. And so we just got to chatting it up one day, and he mentioned he loved board games, and I thought, well, let's play some.
Let's do it.
So now, Brian, so I should tell people, we are playing Blood Rage today. Both of us know nothing about Blood Rage.
I've seen it in the stores a lot. I've always been interested. I love miniatures games, but yeah, I've never picked it up.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I actually haven't played any miniatures games, at least nothing like this. So I'm gonna be relying a lot more on Brian's expertise. I don't know what to expect about this game. I don't know if it's gonna be kind of like a war game. I'm looking at the box here, and we have some guy that looks like he's a Viking, maybe, with this sword or this axe and this shield, and so I'm not sure what to expect, but hopefully we can figure it out.
It's a big box.
It is. It's a big box. So grand reveal. Let's open this sucker up.
Yeah, those are cool. Very cool miniatures.
You approve?
It's always fun in games when you get some bigger models with a lot of detail.
Yeah, these. I'm assuming we're gonna fight these monsters.
That's what I would assume.
I
Is
think
this
we're gonna
a team game where it's us versus the big baddies?
Maybe.
I guess
maybe.
I'd be surprised, but maybe it is.
I mean, maybe we're battling and we have to fight each other and them. Who knows?
All right. So we got 4 large monster miniatures. And
then what looks like an army.
Looks like there's
3 different races.
Three factions with red, blue, and yellow there on the bottom. And brown? No, there's only... Do the colors matter?
I don't know.
There's only like 5 brown. Oh, no, there's the rest of the brown ones.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yep. So there's 4 then.
So there's like 10 of each. 8 of each.
Let's see. So I am just I'm just pulling up the Blood Rage page on BGG. I'm obviously not going to read much about it at all, except for the weight is 2.88, so it's a really good weight. Not too complicated. Actually, less complicated than the game we played last week. 60 to 90 minutes. Blood Rage is designed by Eric Lang. Don't want that instruction book.
No way.
Get that out of here.
All right, so it looks like there's a different card here for each of the factions.
Yep.
The gold is the Serpent faction. The blue is the Raven faction. And we have Bear is brown and Wolf is red.
Awesome. I'm liking this. This is cool.
So it looks like there's a rage bar here, and throughout the game you're accumulating rage. Perhaps it allows you to... Oh, here it has rage costs for certain things, so maybe you accumulate rage throughout the game and then you spend it for upgrades. And
which makes sense, because you think, because this is all these guys look like Vikings, right? And you think of Vikings as berserkers, and a lot of games use like that ability of getting angry. Let's see. I'm not interested in the serpents. Looks like you're taking the...
Take Wolf.
You're going to take Wolf? That's Raven.
Oh, yeah. Let's do Wolf. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. So I can either get Raven or Bear. Raven looks a little too classy for me, so I'm going to go with Bear. All right. Wolf and Bear. You have Jotunheim.
Alfheim.
And you have Yggdrasil in the middle. So yeah, this is all...
Yeah, very Nordic.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking Thor
Viking.
right here.
Yeah.
And then we have this card, this big old card that just says Valhalla on it. And I bet you our dead men go to here. It's like the graveyard.
Now, what are these? These blue ones are unique.
Yeah, I didn't even look at these guys.
They don't belong to a faction. There's also one ship for each of us, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep those blue ones
Out.
handy.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they're going to be like heroes that we can recruit. But all I can say is I'm really digging this game so far. Like, it looks fun.
Yeah, the models are neat. A lot of detail.
Oh, look at these. So these little rings that you can put around players
Yeah.
and are different colors. Some of those are pretty big, like monster level big.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if we can
Maybe you can control the monsters.
control the monsters. Yeah.
Cool.
So instead of fighting them, they're going to fight for us. So I'm wondering if we're battling for this land.
That's what
against
I would
each other.
guess. It's maybe a race to see who can conquer the most territory.
Well, and also it's interesting because you have first stage, action, discard down to one card, quest, Ragnarok, and then release Valhalla. So that's the steps that we're looking at. And then there's like a Goose Gifts. I don't know what that means. And then there's numbers. There's 2, 3, and 4 on Ragnarok.
There's 3 sets of cards. One has a 1, one has a 2,
and
one
a
has a
3.
3. I wonder if those correspond to...
Yeah.
I'd guess they
I would
correspond to
guess.
the age. So
especially
because
it says discard down to one card after the action. So like, I would assume we're just gonna like because you look at the board and there's spots for the squares. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering once you take I'm wondering if we just put these on at random, kind of like, but yeah, I'm
Put
wondering if you
one
just
on
put,
each space, face
one
up,
on each.
and then when you conquer the territory,
you flip it
over
and you get its thing.
and get...
Yep. So this one has a green border. I'm wondering if it's Yggdrasil.
So in the cards, there's green cards that are quest cards. There's red cards that are battle cards. And then there are also clan cards.
And
that
we
are
can
black.
upgrade our clan. We can upgrade our monsters.
Yeah, here's a monster upgrade.
We can
warrior
upgrade our
upgrade,
ship. We can upgrade our leader, our warriors.
Clan upgrade, ship upgrade.
I'm not sure what these discs are for either. These circle discs, except they have the Ragnarok symbol on it, and it looks like it fits. It fits the Ragnarok circle pretty well on this age tracker. And it has names of territories. So I just don't know how you would pick what goes on those circles. Or if you put them face up so that you just see the Ragnarok side, and then after our quests are over, we flip it and then something happens with the location that's randomly picked.
Rage at the start of each round. So it looks like you start each round with 6 rage.
Yeah.
And then it moves up. So like
It goes up to 12.
turn 1, you get 6 rage. But as the game goes on, maybe each subsequent round you're getting 8 or 9. Now it says here, rage cost equals strength. Where does strength come in? At least I'm guessing that's what STR means.
Yeah. I think
Right?
it's I think it's a really good thought. And yeah, I'm not sure.
What is strength?
Did any of those cards say anything about strength? I'm wondering if
Army
it's just the amount.
size.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. It's just people in an area. Like if you have 3 people in
Yeah.
Utgard.
So invade,
You have
rage
3.
equals strength. If you're invading with 3 figures, then it's 3.
Okay. We spent about 20 minutes. I think that's pretty good. I think we're ready. Okay, let's look at these cards
Okay,
here.
now on my card, I got 3 quests.
Mm.
Now it looks like I can pick one quest. What does it say? Commit to a quest by putting it face down on your clan sheet.
So I'm wondering if we get a quest, we can just set it down and then we just do the quest later, or if that's our action. I mean, it kind of seems like it would be an action based on the way it is down at the bottom, but at the same time, is there even a limit to actions?
Excellent questions. Excellent questions, all of those.
I say
I think the actions are these.
yeah,
Invade,
exactly.
march,
That's what I'm thinking
upgrade,
too.
quest, pillage. And since quest is listed down here, I think maybe you're right. Maybe it
I think
is
it's
an action.
What do we want? What call
I
do we
th-
want to make?
I think it's one action per round or whatever.
Because then think about it.
Because invading.
But then that would end the first age with a single action, and the game would end in 3 turns. Well, it says limit of figures on the map. But is there? Let me look at the actions. Is there an action that like we put? Yeah, put a figure invade. Put a figure from reserves into a province. So to place people, we have to do that action.
Okay.
And then that just indicates how many people we can put down.
Up to 4. We can have up to 4
Up to
figures.
4 for this. So I could do the leader, 3 guys. I only have to pay 3.
Yes.
And I am going to invade Elvagar in Mannheim. And that costs 3. So I'm going to go down to 3 rage. Got 3 rage left. That's my action.
Maybe you do as many actions as you want until your rage runs out.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, especially because I just did 1 turn and I have 3 rage left. Like, it's not like I have a ton of rage.
Right.
So that's what I'm thinking. Because otherwise, yeah, I would just
so you do as much as you can,
a bunch of cards,
and then basically cards you have left over you can't use, and you discard down to 1. So now that you have 4 on the map, you can march.
Yep, or pillage.
Or try to pillage.
Which is what I'll do. Its rage cost is free. I can choose the province where I have presence and attempt to gain its reward. There's 9 areas and there's 9 people. So I'm wondering if we have to battle a person.
Possibly.
And if you battle a monster, then you tame it, and so then you recruit them. I would assume rage is involved.
In the combat?
Yeah.
That's a good thought. Maybe you have to expend a certain amount of rage.
That's what I would think. I just don't know. Okay, say for example, we do put all these blue miniatures on the board. Like, how do we know how much rage we need?
Well, I mean, eventually you get to the point where you control the monsters.
Right.
I don't know what you do to either.
I'm guessing the
fight
way
them, and then if you win,
that's exactly
you gain
what I'm
control
thinking.
of them.
Like, I'm thinking you invade, you attack. If you win, you get the monster. Or the ship could just be an extra spot to add strength to the area.
Maybe.
Like if I have a ship next to my 4 guys in Elvagar, and you want to come attack me, it's not 4 that you're attacking, it's 5. But I would assume like the bigger monsters are going to be placed in the bigger regions. You know what I mean? Like each area has a middle that's greater than the others. So big guy in the Jotunheim region in Horger, one in Gimli.
So you have to fight that guy in order to loot.
That's what I'm
in order
thinking.
To pillage.
I put 4 guys in Elvagar, but I placed this massive pirate thong wearing guy with a with dreads and a big old sword.
Good luck. I don't want to fight that guy.
No, I don't want.
At least not till the 3rd age.
I don't want to fight him either. I feel like I'm gonna get. I feel like if we were playing this right, I would 100% not be ready to take him on. There's got to be a difference between these guys. Like this guy that's in my area, he literally has a torn knee. His armor, he looks so disheveled. His shield is broken. He looks emaciated. He's scarred up. His sword's all janky. Like he's got to require like basically no strength, no rage.
Mm-hmm.
But again, and I'm like, is the rule book supposed to tell us how much rage each one's worth? That kind of seems silly that you'd have to like look that up. I'm just going to use 1 rage. That's what I'm going to say the cost is.
All right, for my turn, I'm going to invade, and I'm going to come over here and invade Anolange. I'll go ahead and put 3 guys down.
In Alfheim.
In Alfheim.
Yes.
So that costs 2 rage.
Yep.
All right, so I have presence here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to pillage it.
Right.
Do I succeed in the attempt?
I don't know.
I don't know either. See, I feel like there's got to be some kind of.
Well, one thing too is like that's kind of interesting is when you look at the warrior, it has like a red 1, and then the leader has a 3. So I'm wondering if like that is supposed to be what each one's capable of attacking with. I say we just say she's worth a cool 2 rage. And you win.
Because she's cooler?
Yeah, she looks like she can take my guy on.
Bro, I bet she could. She's
100%.
She's in a battle stance too.
Her sword is drawn.
She's got a shield.
She's about to strike. Or her spear, actually. Is it a spear? It is a spear, yeah.
Her spears. She's in a battle stance. Your guy's just
my guy is
passively.
haggard.
He's not raising his
shield. He is
shield.
exhausted.
Yeah.
He is worn. And you just won a battle. I'm not sure if that axe that you just added comes in before or after. We can say after.
So I got 4.
Yeah. Killing it. We're doing so good.
Yeah.
Easiest game. Easiest game.
Easy. So simple and straightforward. I love it.
And then we have our quests.
Yes.
Mine is Mannheim. Have the most strength in at least one Mannheim, which is a yellow province, which I'm in. I'm in Mannheim in Elvegard. And if completed, raise one of my clan stats by 1 so I can choose.
And I need to have the most strength in Alfheim. Same thing. And it gives me 5 victory points. So
Whoa.
I'm at 9. And you're at 8.
Oh, mine gives me 5 too. I didn't even see that. We're both at.
I'm going to go up and raise.
I have a card, Loki's Domain, that says gain 1 glory for each figure you release from Valhalla. So I'm assuming when our guys die, obviously, they go to Valhalla, which is what we guessed. But then there's a way to get them back.
Cool.
I don't know how that works. That is pretty cool, though.
That reminds me of Risk Godstorm. You know Risk, right?
Yeah, of course.
In
But
Godstorm, when your warriors die, they go to the underworld.
Cool.
And then you can fight in the underworld to resurrect them.
That's way cool.
It's pretty cool.
I once played, I think it was like the future Risk. Like Risk 20 something or other.
Yeah, 2050 or something.
I think it was like a 7-hour game.
I've heard that's a long one. But 7 hours is a bit excessive.
We went like all night. It was a blast. I loved it.
And I have 3 rage left.
That's a big monster.
I'd like to recruit Trollman.
Yeah, the big old. Oh yeah, he's got a gnarly nose. He's definitely some sort of troll. The big old hammer.
I am going to give him a peace offering of 2 cards.
Nice. You're going to use your
2-card peace
cards.
offering, and that turns him over to my team.
You're just making that up,
right? I mean, it's as good as anything else we go. Well, I mean, you can get him on your side by combat, or
I think we can't go. I think we can't go that crazy. I think it's battle or nothing.
Battle or nothing. Okay, what's his strength?
If we're saying that this homeboy rock thrower is worth
9,
then 10, 11, 12, 13. There's not even 13. Yeah, there's not even 13 spaces. You know what? Screw it. I win. Okay.
You haven't even 5. You can't win without a battle.
I
Come
freaking
test yourself.
I took Rock Guy.
It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter how many warriors you have.
Oh, he's definitely an elf. He's got a bow. He's got a sword about ready to draw. He has some restraint, but he means
in a powerful
business.
stance.
He means business. He's like, don't be getting close.
He does.
I think maybe a 4, 5, maybe a 5 because elves are supposed to be pretty strong.
Okay. He's a 5. I am going to.
And right now you're at 2.
And right now I'm at 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to pay a rage. And I gain strength that is the same value as the highest revealed enemy.
Well, you know what? I say we're at a point where this is the game. Like, we're just going to keep keep going
until we fight each
until
other.
like
And then
it's just going to be the same. So I feel like we're at that point now where we are ready
read the rules.
to read the rules and play for reals.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right.
Very difficult to make any progress without having any idea how combat works or how the monsters work.
Now you know how me and Cole felt with Dune.
Yeah.
We did not understand combat at all. And that was the best part of the game. Oh, why is combat so difficult? Oh, geez. What is this book? 23 pages. So yeah, the red numbered circle at the top left of a card is its strength.
It's the card's strength.
Card strength.
Okay.
Take the 8 Ragnarok tokens and shuffle them. Place 1 on each of the 3 Ragnarok spots on the age track. The tokens should have the text side facing up, indicating what provinces will be destroyed in the course of the game, which makes sense. How did we not get that? Like that's what Ragnarok is it's like destroying.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Wow. Very interesting. You cannot move figures from 2 different provinces in the same action, nor move your figures to 2 different provinces. You can only march from one to the other.
And they don't have to be adjacent. That is surprising.
You could go from here to here. When you play a monster upgrade, take the corresponding monster figure, attach your clan's base to it, and place it in your reserve. It is now yours for the rest of the game.
So if I'm raiding and Lang, and you have figures here or here in adjacent territories, you can move them in for the battle.
Yeah, I guess.
Right?
Players in the battle, I'm sure it'll clarify. I think this whole thing is about battle. Some special battle cards can be used to further increase the strength of your troops, even after players have revealed their cards. So it's like an additional card. Like you choose your card, you play it, but then you can add, if you have this card in your deck, in your hand, then you can lay that one down too. Any questions?
Lots of questions. Well, let's just start and see where we go.
Okay, so the rule book has been read. And before we play, what things did we get right?
Well, I feel like we had a fairly good understanding of each player's track board. We kind of knew where the tokens went, what everything meant. We understood what all the actions were.
Yeah.
We didn't necessarily know how to execute some of the actions like pillage, but we knew that they were actions and that they each costed rage in order to do.
Right.
So those were all kinds of things that were intuitive that we picked up beforehand.
Yeah, I think the rage track we got down pretty well. I'd also say like we kind of towards the end, we better understood like the number at the top left maybe being strength. So we kind of got
upgrade cards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of got that. That's kind of it.
Yeah, that was about it. That was about it.
So the only thing we got right was the thing that basically had a lot of words that told us what to do.
Yes.
As far as the monsters, we weren't anywhere close to how those are used.
Yeah, not even in the right ballpark.
We didn't even get marching right, because you can march anywhere in the board that you want. We weren't anywhere close to Ragnarok.
No.
Like we had no idea that some were already destroyed and then some were destroyed later.
Yeah.
The card drafting phase, turns per age.
Yeah.
Literally, basically the whole game we got wrong, except for the monsters. But I will say it was kind of fun. Like I kind of liked the idea of having a monster in a territory.
Going around fighting monsters, trying to get your strength.
Yeah, it seems kind of fun how it'd be like we'd be battling each other, but we're also trying to battle these monsters. So, kind of fun to think about.
Yeah.
Did we ever get clarification on the little blue guys?
They are monsters as well.
Gotcha.
So these are monsters. The small blue guys are monsters. And for example, here's a card for the Dwarf Chieftain.
Mm,
So you can pay the upgrade cost to
Right.
be able to recruit
right.
the monsters. So these are monsters
But we can
of a
only have
smaller variety,
2.
and these are bigger
So
monsters.
later on, we'll upgrade,
Yes.
discard our monsters to get better ones.
I'm guessing that the big ones don't come into play until age
Yeah.
2 and 3.
Yeah. Okay, let's do this. I started, so why don't you start?
Okay.
And let me pick my first card. All right, Brian. How do you feel? Dominating me.
I feel great.
Ouch.
Just great.
Ladies and gentlemen, the final score of our playthrough was my measly 43 to his 122. He passed around the board. He is not far behind me.
I got some really lucky upgrades, and things just worked out.
Honestly, I don't think so. I think it
Things
was
just
good
worked out.
strategy, good plays.
Well, thank you.
Like I'm thinking, oh, I got this good play. It's going to work.
Well,
And
you had
then
that first invasion into
Yggdrasil.
Yggdrasil.
Yeah.
That was really good. I was like, oh.
That
When I
went
saw
well with
that,
my dark elf
that went
having
great.
that extra
Strength in
yeah,
Yggdrasil, extra
yep.
2 strength.
Yeah. So, thoughts on the game?
It was simple. I think a 2.8 was very fair. Once we read the rule book, I feel like everything was very straightforward. The combat system is very simple and straightforward, which is nice. But if you're the type of person that likes a lot of complexity in your game, then this might be a little too simple for you. Overall, I thought it was a nice little game. I thought it was a fun hour of play.
Yeah. It's an 8. It's rated an 8 on BGG. It's number 44 at the time of recording overall. So to have a game, I feel like with a playtime at an hour and a half, 2.8 in weight, and then to be rated so well and as high as it is, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
So this is a fun little game that I agree. Like it moved so quickly that I never felt at any point like, oh, this game is taking forever. When is it going to end?
Mm-hmm.
Like at every point, it just kind of seemed like more moves to do, more strategy. Like, oh, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough moves. Instead of it being like, oh, this is taking forever.
Yeah.
And you got that score from all of these cool cards that give you, oh, this card gives me this many points, and this one this many, and this one and this one, and you start to build up all of these different cards, and all of these different things happen, and then before you know it, you have all these points. And I think that's really fun.
Yeah, it kind of snowballed quickly there at the end.
Yeah, definitely.
The game feature where like the different continents are destroyed reminded me of the game Forbidden Island, where you're trying to escape the island and the tiles sink into the water as you're going. Kind of reminded me of that. It's kind of cool that the game board getting smaller as the game progresses kind of forces you into combat more.
Yeah.
Because in the first round, in the first age, there wasn't really any combat. You know, you were on your side, I was on my side, we were doing our thing. As the territory got smaller and smaller, it forced us into more conflict there at the end.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a neat little
I think
feature.
I think it's brilliant, because you could get, depending on the people, I mean, some people love combat. Here's the thing. Some people hate it.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would be running around the board, evading you the whole time, or getting upset when they get attacked. And no one wants that type of a game. So to have a game that just kind of, like you said, just forces you into this combat with this tiny board. I mean, by the end, you have 3 regions.
Out of the original 7 or 8.
Yeah. I mean, in those last ones, they ended at the very end of the game. So really, we had we had 5 to work with at the end, but
Yeah.
it felt very tight.
Yeah, it did.
And I really like that. And it makes it interesting too, because you can't really, like, none of us got to 10 horns by the end.
I got
And
10
even-
horns,
Yeah, but that, like,
but I didn't get to use
not
them.
not like that was at the end, but not before.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just like, who's going to have enough rage and horns
To field an
to
army that big.
fill the board?
Yeah.
Like, it's just not going to happen.
I feel like it's mostly just there for the point bonus.
Yeah.
You know.
But I bring that up because the board gets so small that you wouldn't really be able to have that many anyway.
That's true. Yeah.
Which actually, when you think about it, that would be a really, really interesting strategy, is to just gun for horns and then see if you can just flood the board
With your
by
figures.
age 3.
Uh-huh.
So the other person, they have like no people, and you can just
And yeah.
pillage to your heart's content.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad
And
strategy.
that's
I wonder
what's-
if it would work.
Well, that's the thing. I love games that allow you to pursue different strategies.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And like we saw that in our last episode with Dune. I could see many different avenues to win. This one isn't as much, but there's a billion cards to get you points. So you can strategize that way. Like, oh, if I do this and I do this and it compounds and boom, 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 boom. But yeah, you could also, I mean, you could try to go for more axes. You could try to go for more horns. I think you were pretty balanced. I just gunned for rage.
Yeah.
But I wonder what would happen if someone went for axes or went for horns. I feel like that would be silly to go for axes if you don't have the rage to back up the battle.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's silly to go for axes if you don't have the horns to back up the battle.
yeah, you kind of need rage. Like the game
Yes.
you have no option.
Rage is the most important.
You have to be an idiot to just go, I'm just going to go for axes.
Yeah. Yes, that would be a bad strategy, I think.
Yeah.
I also like that the game is really well designed for both 2 and more players.
Mhm.
Some games that allow 4 players, if you play with only 2,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't feel competitive enough. But with the way that this was set up, where some of the islands were already, not islands, some of the continents were already sunk or destroyed,
Mm-hmm.
made it so that playing with 2 didn't feel like
Yeah, I totally
you were
agree.
always wanting another person there. Like you weren't getting enough action or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was really well designed to be played for just 2 people or a large group.
Yeah, for sure. But I would love to play this game with 4 people.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
Because I had a blast. Like, I really enjoyed this game. I got crushed. Who cares? Like, it was really fun
It was
to
fun.
try. Oh, am I gonna win this pillage? I don't know. Will my cards come in? He doesn't know I have this card. Is it gonna work?
Yeah. Yeah, with 4 players, there would be so much more uncertainty and so
Yeah.
many more opportunities to blindside
Yeah.
somebody else with
It would
with a
be-
great card or with all of a sudden you're moving all your forces into their territory.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be cool. It'd be mayhem.
And some other cards would be more important for 4 players. Like, we didn't really go for the Valhalla
Mm-hmm.
card.
Yeah.
The Glorious Death
Yes.
quest.
Uh-huh.
Because I just didn't, I should have, because I had, in the last age, I had 4 people in Valhalla, so I would have gotten 11 points. But I feel like that's way more likely to happen
With 4 people.
with 4 people.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, because now that I think about it, though, too, it would also be harder to get enough people on the board quick enough to
Yes.
have that many people die.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you could bring a couple guys out, die, a couple guys out, die. So yeah, there's be a lot more pillaging, a lot more battles, a lot more deaths.
Yeah.
But I totally agree. I think for a 2-player game, it was really well balanced. It was really fun. I think it'd be really fun to play with 4 people. But I agree with you too. I think the Ragnarok coming in and slowly destroying the land was really cool. And it's so funny to compare the actual playthrough to our made up rules.
Yeah, we didn't
because
know what we were doing. We had no
because
idea.
we never would have guessed that. But it was really like, I mean, we just talked all about it. It was cool. And I can't imagine playing this game now without having land being slowly eaten up each age.
Yeah, it was a neat feature. I thought it was a great game. I liked it.
Yeah.
And it was simple. I feel like
was.
you could teach this to a
Mm-hmm.
a 10-year-old and they'd get it. They'd pick it up.
Yeah, I agree.
So
yeah, it wasn't it's always, see, doing this podcast is interesting because we try to do it without the rule book, and then I pick up the rule book and I think like, 23 pages, like that's a lot of pages. That rule book was really, really easy. It was really wordy, which isn't a bad thing because it clarifies a ton, but you could easily skim that rule book and totally get the gist of how to play the game and have a blast doing it. But I feel like when there are games that I've played where the rule book is really hard to like, oh, is this one? I don't know how to play this. Does it clarify? No, I can't find how, it doesn't explain. So I like how not only is this game easy to begin with, but then the rule book really makes sure that you understand. Yeah. Like when it came to pillaging, they had like 5 different pictures and a whole bunch of scenarios. Like if you don't understand how to play Blood Rage, then
you need a new hobby.
Yes. I would completely agree. Yes. Couldn't have said it better. Is there anything that you didn't like about the game?
Well, I definitely think simplicity versus complexity is a trade-off. I tend to like more complex games. The combat system for this game compared with other miniatures games was very simple, very basic, which, that can be good or bad just depending on what you're looking for. I thought the miniatures were really cool, so that was a plus. But the combat was pretty simple overall.
Yeah, I agree. I actually do think it might have been a little too simple. I think if they made it a little bit more complex, it would have actually been even that much more successful of a game. I actually really liked the idea of us placing people in areas that you have to fight when you're pillaging. Like I kind of don't like that if no one's nearby or chooses to kind of jump in, that you just take it. I think it would be fun to have to conquer on your own.
Yeah.
Which really, I mean, how easy of a house rule is that? You could just say you have to pay 2 rage or burn a card, something.
Yeah.
If you wanted to make it more difficult, you could.
Yeah. Also some of these smaller territories only have 3 spots. And if you fill the spots, there's nothing they can do, And so
I feel like there should be...
There are ways to play it really safe, which takes away some of the tension of the game. But I wonder if that disappears with 4 players. I wonder if that's a 2-player thing. But some of them were huge. I mean, some of these spots have 5, you can fit 5 people plus the ships, and some of them only have 3. So if you are in one with 3, if you fill 2 of those spots, you're looking really good in the battle.
Yeah.
So it takes away counterplay in some of those smaller areas.
Yeah, and I think yes, I did find that kind of frustrating at times, that you couldn't really, like, you could just take over a whole spot, but at the same time you plan for that.
Yeah.
So it is also like a strategic element.
Right.
Where if I fill this up first, then I can pillage it without worrying. And so it can be frustrating for the other player, but it's a good strategic choice.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Those are just nitpicky things. If I were being nitpicky, those are things I say. I don't think it hurt my experience at all. I still thought it was a great game.
Right.
But
I mean, there's a reason why, even with its level of simplicity and its little quirks, it's still, ranked 44 and has an 8.0.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I want to pick this game up now, and I want to play it again.
And paint those miniatures.
Yep. How about I'll buy it, and then you can just paint for me.
Deal. Deal.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. We had a great time tackling Blood Rage, and we hope to have you listen to us again?
Yeah, I hope you'll join us again for another board game experience.
Thanks, everyone.